This is a View from the Bridge official podcast of the Belfast Giants, the kingdomofthegiants.com. It's Monday, the 22nd of July, 2024. My name is Patrick Smith. We're here. We're live. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X. You can also download us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all your normal podcast providers. If you're watching on YouTube, I know a lot of people are in the chat and have been in the chat since 9 waiting for us. But if you're watching on YouTube, you can join and subscribe. Why not hit like and subscribe as well, and keep those messages coming. We love seeing it. Love seeing people who are interacting with us week in, week out. Thank you very much for joining us on this week's show. We have not one, but two new names on the Belfast Giants roster, and one of those will be popping along for a chat later in the show. Stay tuned for that. We're also going to be joined by Carter Hamill, Mack Stewart, and Kell Beattie. They'll be popping in for a bit of a chat now. They're back on two-way contracts. It's the summertime, and we can see the light behind Davey. How are you doing, mate?
I'm okay, mate. Despite us agreeing we would do this and what time we would do it at, and it all being arranged, I forgot all about it. And I was at Taekwondo, and ran in the door there. I'm sweating, absolutely sweating. So well prepared, of course.
Good man.
It's been a good summer. Like, I've taken up the Spanish call it padel. I call it paddle. Basically, I'd probably be like the number one in East Belfast at it now. Like, I'm pretty good. Like, so if any all comers want to take me on,
it's
you pay for the court. I come and play.
Where I play five-a-side, well, usually on a Monday night, but when I play five-a-side, they've built a whole load of padel courts there, and even if you go to Decathlon in Stockport, they've got courts there for people to play. It's just like it's getting a bigger up. You tried it yourself, Marty?
No, but I've seen it down in the Ards Leisure Centre, and every Saturday kind of morning, afternoon, they're flat out playing down there. So I've been quite intrigued. But yeah, Davey, you should probably go down there. I reckon you get your ass handed to you down there.
That sounds good.
Oh dear, yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? It's like we'll take up a new sport. Every time I do that, I end up getting injured. I'm just not good at it. I'm just not going to bother. I'm just going to let other people like you do it, Davey, and just school the youngins. No doubt about it. It's been a busy few weeks for the Belfast Giants. We'll do a bit of a catch-up, and then we'll get stuck into introducing you to the new names on the roster. Since our last podcast, 14th of June, Mark Garside announced his retirement from professional ice hockey. We shall return to that in a second. On the 18th of June, we learned that the Giants will have pre-season games against Carleton University and the University of Alberta. On the 19th of June, 25-year-old forward Grant Mismash of guess where? Minnesota joins us from Norway, where he played alongside JJ Pikanich. On the 21st of June, Bo Hansen, 21-year-old D-man from Idaho, joined from Aalborg Pirates in Denmark. The 11th of July, the fixtures were released. 17th of July, Mack Stewart and Carter Hamill, who will be joining us later, returned on two-way contracts. And the next day, Kell Beattie and Mason Alderson were also announced on two-ways. And here we are on the 22nd. So let's tackle some of those. And first of all, the retirement of two-time Rookie of the Year, Mark Garside. Davey, I'll start with you. This one, you're a big fan of his. He can concentrate on his music now.
Yeah, he promised me an album within the next 10 years, and that was 2 or 3 years ago. So he's got a few years still to go on that. I'm sad to see Gary go. I'm glad to see him. This sounds counterintuitive. I'm glad to see him retire while he's still got a relative amount of youth and health on his side. He hasn't stayed on. He's obviously got his operation, got his shoulders well healed up. He doesn't think it's going to be able to take the rigors of the professional game anymore, and he's stepping away. And what a servant this club he's been. When Doug Christensen brought him over, what's more than 10 years ago now, isn't it? Did he ever think he would be the all-time leading guy in appearances for the Belfast Giants? He is, isn't he? That's fact. And his name will go down in history only, if anything, for the Keith Floyd and Garside line that he centered. Let those two. He used to say, just let them two go manic, and he was just there to take the centers and give the puck to them and let them do their thing. Some great moments in a jersey, I guess, culminating with the Grand Slam the other season. He really only played a real splatter in the games after that, after the injury, but. Great servant to this club. He's been really good to us, on the podcast over the years. I remember the first time I interviewed him. I don't know, not
what was the name of that show, mate?
It was called Disaster. It wasn't the best interview I've ever done, but looking back on it, it was fun as well. We played a bit of his music, and no secret that I'm a fan of that style of music, but I'm a big Mark Garside fan. I was really, really fortunate. I suppose one of the real highlights for me in my time of supporting the Giants over the last 20 odd years was being on the microphone at his testimonial and being able to be a wee part of that. It was just so much fun that night, and a night I'll never forget. Got some lovely pictures with him, and he's got a lovely little family growing up there now, and he's going to spend some time with that. So who can fault him for that? And all the best, Gary. You've been amazing, and you've left us with a lifetime of memories that we'll be forever grateful for.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the real stalwarts of the Belfast Giants, Marty, when he came in, and as Davey says, he was brought over from Edinburgh by Doug Christensen when Doug came across himself. So Doug obviously knew what style of play, what sort of guy he was, what sort of player he wanted, and he flourished in the Giants. And went from midway through, he was moved from forward on the defence and thrived there also.
Exactly, well, like Claire, that's why he stuck around so many years, and it was good that he could adapt his game from being a forward to a defenseman, and then I thought he was a very good defenseman at that as well. We've had the likes of Jeff Bond speaking about coming in being a rookie, and kind of Gary taking him under his wing and kind of caressing him into that MVP that Jeff Bond came last season. So yeah, it's been a major part of the club, and each year you just kind of seen his name always popping up onto the team list, and yeah, it's just sad to see this season he won't be doing that. But as David already touched there, and so many sentiments towards him, he's a fantastic player, and let's hope he's going to stick around and be involved in some shape or form. I've never spoke to him. I've kind of just seen him in a bar, just kind of waved across and stuff. So be nice chance to get to know him this year if we could.
It's a difficult decision to make, isn't it? It's especially when you've played for so long, and the enjoyment you get from the sport, to make a decision like that. David, we talked about you stepping back from football a few months ago, and from your own perspective, it's a difficult decision to make. But when you've played and you're so successful as Mark Garside has been with the Belfast Giants, winning championships galore, so many medals around his neck, and that it's to be put in this position, it can't have been an easy decision to make.
No point referencing myself in any sporting capacity. It was amateur football I was stepping down. It was something I'd done all my life. So yes, I understand that it was painful and all, but I was very, very lucky actually that we're in the position we're in, that we can get to speak to professional athletes about stuff that goes on in our day-to-day lives. And some of them actually like doing that. And I spoke to a whole lot of guys about making the transition, guys that are retired. How did you go about making the transition? Because I was really struggling with the mental side of that. Actually, I was Davy McGimsey, and even though it was just amateur, I was Davy McGimsey, the footballer, and I'm not. All of a sudden, you weren't anymore, and I find it really difficult where I was and just in my life with that. And I'm sure professional athletes. But I spoke to one guy at the playoffs last year who was coming towards that decision, hasn't made it yet, but he talked about leave the game before he wanted to leave the game before the game left him, and to leave on kind of his own terms. Don't leave because you weren't picked anymore. Don't leave because you don't have that yard of pace anymore. Don't leave because you're not as good a teammate anymore, because the game's getting away from you and you're becoming grumpy and you're not that guy in the locker room anymore, and you're not the guy you were 10 years ago. So to leave when the decision is staring you in the face that it's the right decision to make. And I'm sure Gary has pondered over several seasons now. He hasn't been blessed with the greatest of run with injuries and stuff, especially around that shoulder. It's no secret. And he's made the decision now to step away, and that'll have been tough. It will have been tough when it's your whole adult life. It's your kind of being. He's obviously been able to easily step into that sort of musical world as well, where he can still be Mark Garside, the musician. So it's filling that blank that you've got in your life. That that's why I've gone pro on the paddle tour now.
But Marty,
I do say that with an element that obviously tongue in cheek. It is difficult, and I don't mind saying in a public forum like how difficult I have found not having football in my life anymore. And I'm so fortunate that I've got hockey And I'm so fortunate that the club give me something more than just turning up to watch games. I get to do stats, get to do the podcast, get to talk to people, get to just hang out with people. That gives me something. I've got a connection to home, which is always massive to me because I'm so homesick 24 hours a day, and to have that anchor point in my life at this club is massive. And if you took that away from me, oh my goodness, what a hole that would be in my life. So for Gary and all that, it's just about finding something else. Marty will be better placed. He played, and obviously was taken away.
Yeah. That obviously was the direction I was going there as well, Marty. But you've also still got the links to the local scene, to the local hockey, and still having that input. So hopefully, that's something that Gary will have as well, or bring in as well. But for you, stepping away from the game and doing what you're doing, does it, having those links, it helps?
It does help, and it was never my choice to step away. I mean, I felt I could have given so much more, and it just didn't happen for me. So,
should we do the Ed Courtney story again? No, let's not do the Ed Courtney story.
No. But yeah, you've got to find other ways of dealing with it, and but for sure, the likes of what I'm doing now. Also, I'm very grateful for you guys bringing me on board and letting me have a little bit of input onto the podcast when you need me, and then also helping out with the commentary and things like that. Of course, it's nice to be brought back in and feel part of it again, and it certainly does help. But yeah, certainly, playing wise, you'll not replace that. But yeah, look, I still skate. I still skate recreationally. I still try and skate with the guys in the summer and do my best. So at least I've still got the fire and belly to do all that. And let's see what if guys want to stick around live here, then yeah, it'd be great to see him come along and join in.
Well, hopefully we'll get Gary on in maybe the early weeks of the season and to chat about his career and look back on what was a phenomenal professional career for him with the Belfast Giants and GB as well. But having that time and the time he had in Teal will be forever cherished by all of us who had the delight of watching him play for our club. Best wishes to him. Just a few other bits and pieces. We've picked up a couple of forwards. A forward in Grant Mismash and Bo Hansen. Both, Davey, quite young, 25 and 21. Both coming in from Scandinavia with decent records. But the sort of balance of the squad's coming together.
It is. I love that was signed guys that have done a year in Europe and they're sort of acclimatized to the bigger ice and that kind of thing. Obviously, guys that come straight from America or North America aren't always used to the 200 by 100 foot pads. So there's only half a league with them, guess, because Manchester, Coventry, where else has small pads? Can't think anyway. Doesn't matter. Guildford. Guildford's probably full size. I can't remember anyway. But speed, youth comes with a little bit of speed, and we talk about this. Everything drips down from the NHL. The game's getting faster. The game's getting more skillful. These guys that are coming out of uni, the guys that have had maybe 1 year's pro experience, they come with a good resume. They come with they've played with Giants before. They come with they know a little bit about the city now because we're as a club we've put ourselves on a global market with the Friendship Ford, etc. So two guys that I'm looking really forward to. You know what we're like. You're quite analytical, and whenever these signs go out, you go probably like all the Giants fans. You go and you tuck into YouTube and different places where you can find footage of them, read up about them, read stories from their local newspapers and wherever they come from. So you find out as much info as you can about them. And, if Steve Thornton and Adam Keefe will have done their homework and there'll be good guys about the room, goes without saying. So really looking forward. It's not that many weeks now. The boys will start dribbling into town and get a camp under their belt. So not long now to see them on the ice.
And one of the other things, the other signings that we brought in, Marty, and ones that more kin as well to you, the likes of Mack Stewart, Carter Hamill, Kell Beattie, Mason Alderson, but the local lads especially having that link. These guys are going to be on two ways. We know that they had, we know that they had a little bit of experience last season and playing in likes of Leeds and whatever, and doing really well there. We know that Mac also had a bit of time with Coventry, is what I remember. But but to have those links to those boys, the options that gives them while they also develop is key.
Very much so. I really hope that they'll be part of the Giants camp, before they go to their primary clubs. It'd be nice for them to get a couple of weeks, train with let's say Giants top three team in Britain. Let's hopefully by the end of the season it's top team again. But yeah, I mean that'd be so beneficial to them. And then I don't know what they've struck up with Adam, but it'd be nice to see them play at least in these first four friendly games, and then obviously then when they're called upon throughout the season. But there's just like the, especially with Carter, Mack, and Kell, there's that extra little bit of special element to them coming along on the 2A or just signing in general because they grew up around the Giants. That's always been their dream, and you know, it, yeah, they're not going to be if they're going to sign full time. To be honest, they would only be getting a couple of minutes a game, so at least they're going to be stamping their authority, trying to get a regular position on the first or second line at MK or in Solway. And then, you've got the likes of Adam Keefe, Steve Thornton, just keeping an eye on them, see what they're doing. And then if injuries do happen throughout the season, and if, one of them guys is standing out and they come in, they might get, 5, 6, 7 minutes a game. Depends, if it's only 5, 6 games, it's like 5, 6 minutes, per game. Let's say they get 5 or 6 games over the season. They're going to learn so much from that, and they're going to learn so much with the extra professionals around them.
Absolutely, and David, it's that local link as well. I know we spoke about it with Andrew Dixon, but we know that's another because in the years gone by, getting that local link's been very difficult. Let's be fair, and we have had the players such as Marty, such as Graham Walton, Mark Morrison, and Dicko. But having these lads and helping them develop by also being part of the Belfast Giants setup and keeping that sort of local feel or that local element within the club is great.
So important to have local, guys. If we don't have local guys playing for the Belfast Giants, then you will never have them because if you can't see it, you can't be. We'll talk about this in the girls' game, and it's just as important in the boys in the men's game. If young lads can't go to watch the Belfast Giants, like Marty did right at the start, went and watched the Belfast Giants. Obviously played hockey before the Giants came along, but I can be one of these guys. If you can't see a pathway through, then what do you want to do? Kell's gone away to Solway, young player of the year. He man a match a couple of times for the GB under 20 teams. I think I might be right, I might be wrong that he was like the under 20 British D-man of the tournament, something like that. So he's done really well. Mason came in last year. I think he played 4 or 5 games for the Giants. I remember he played the Valentine's one in Manchester. Mack, I don't think played for us at all last year, but obviously came in the season before. Towards the end of the season, got a goal against Sheffield. Carter, we know exactly what he can do. And as Marty said, more about it's also going to be another opportunity for them to develop, get ice time if they can with the Giants, but go to their parent clubs, if you like, and get as big a minutes as they can. If an opportunity at Belfast comes along, should it just be to come along and train, take it with both hands. It's stupid even me saying these things. These kids they're not kids, they're young men now. They know exactly what they have to do. They don't need me to sit in my bedroom and tell them what to do. They know that when these opportunities come along, you grab them with both hands because they don't come along often. You only have to look at last season. Even though we were hamstrung with injuries, those opportunities still didn't come. They came to train. They're a year older. They're a year wiser. They're a year stronger. They're a year more professional under their belt. They know what it means now, what you have to do when you turn up on game day much more. So all those things, and those guys, when they get the opportunity, I want them to grab it, with both hands. Nothing more I want to see than young local guys playing for my team, representing my city. I can't, so why can't they? They've got the talents I don't. They've got age on their side. It's just a dream to see.
You still have age on your side, Davey. Come on.
Probably not going to get a game now. As I said, going pro paddle. Padel, sorry. But yes, good luck to them. I want to see them get opportunities. Want to see them on the ice this season for the Giants, even if it's only, as Marty has said, if it's only a few filler shifts here and there. It's taking the pressure off other guys. As long as they are, I would say, so several years into the development now that they know what their role is when they come on a game day to the Giants. They know they're not top 6 forwards. They'll be eating some minutes so guys can get a rest and get back out and. And they're learning. It's what an opportunity for them, and just best wishes to them. Just completely buzzing for them.
Absolutely. Right. So on that, let's add a couple of new names to the roster, shall we? The Belfast Giants have kindly offered us 2 names. both of which coming from the same organisation. These are on two ways. Two British players coming on two-way contracts. One of them, one of them is Rhodes Mitchell-King, who's coming in from the Telford Tigers. He is a 21-year-old D-man from Warwick, but also joining him will be Finley Hiles, also coming from Telford. And delighted to say that Finley is joining us now. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Welcome to the Belfast Giants. How's this opportunity come about on a two-way contract?
So Adam contacted me earlier on this summer, and then I just took it up to grabs. Great opportunity for me to get better as a player. So yeah, I can't wait.
You've been Telford for more or less since you're under 15 days, and work your way through that system. A one-club man up until this point.
Yeah, little local boy. The rink's 5 minutes from me, so it's been perfect to go there. And with work, it works great around work. So
you also, sorry, go.
But this is obviously the next step for me, playing Elite League. So I had to take the opportunity.
You also took an opportunity to go to Ontario and do a bit of training when you were there. How was that experience for you?
Really good, really good. So I think I was 14, 15 when I went. So it's just a great life experience, playing completely different style of hockey compared to the juniors in England. So it changed me massively. It turned me into a man at such a young age, which was great.
Finley,
I come back to play with Telford.
Sorry. There's just a very slight delay on the line, and then sorry, I didn't mean to jump across there. I was talking to a guy earlier who's big into his hockey in Telford, and he was saying the best two Brits in Telford are Finley Hiles and Mitchell King. So we've got them both. So that's a big plus for you. We were just talking before you came on there about the opportunity for British guys to come into and hopefully get some ice time with the Belfast Giants. It must be something. I know it's a two-way contract, but you must be like eyeing some games here and hoping to get a little bit of ice time.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. That'd be great if I could. The more ice time, the better I can get.
And is it also about getting involved with I'm not saying anything about the Telford organisation, but that Elite League professionalism, learning what it's all about, what you've got to do, what's the differences on a game day from the big league from Telford?
Definitely, yeah. Everything I've been told, it's completely different to the National League in the sense of professionalism, how it's been run. So yeah, I can't wait to see what it's about.
Finley, how doing? Have you organised and sorted out with Adam, coming across and training with the camp for the first couple of weeks, or do you want to stay with Telford and
So I'm coming over for the 2-week camp, and then I fly back, I think, on the 23rd, which is the Friday, and then I have my camp on the 24th and 25th for Telford. So it works perfect, to be fair.
And also, as Adam kind of stipulated, you'd be playing maybe more on the road, because obviously you're living on the mainland, or would you maybe be getting a chance to come across when required for home games playing in the SSC?
We haven't really spoke much about the game time away or home, so I'll have to wait and see what coach says.
Have you ever been over to Belfast? Have you ever been to the SSC or the Odyssey?
I've been to Dublin. That's the only place I've been. Actually, no, I've been to Belfast when I was a kid. I played a roller hockey tournament there, but I've never been to the arena.
Well, where was the tournament? The roller hockey tournament?
Oh,
you remember?
I don't know. My dad will know. I don't know. I think I was only 10 or something. I don't know.
Okay, you'll flip it. I could have been, involved in the tournament myself. So, stranger things will happen. But no, well, hopefully you get the chance to obviously play in the arena. It certainly is my eyes, it's the best arena in Britain. So I hope you get to experience that, buddy.
Hopefully.
What style of player are we getting here, Finley? What style of player are you? How would you describe your game?
I'd say I'm a two-way forward. I'd say I'm fast. I'm good at carrying the puck into the zone. And then I like making plays for my teammates. A playmaker.
And what about Rhodes? Rhodes Mitchell-King obviously joined you on that two-way contract as well. He's on holiday in Croatia at the minute, lucky fella. But what sort of player is he? What are we getting with regards to Rhodes?
I'd say he's a solid D man, and he's good on the power play. So he plays a point in Telford, and I think he's got a good vision of the game, which helps him massively. And his size is big.
Great.
So he's
top player. Well, listen, mate. Welcome to Belfast Giants. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
We look forward to seeing you out in the ice, be that at home or away in the coming season.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on here.
Big thanks to Finley Hiles for joining us on the show. Good to see these two-way contracts, Marty. We've just talked about that and all that, but having these, I don't remember us having this many two-way contracts before for players, and there's two more added.
No, and Davey and I had a brief conversation earlier on the chat, and I think he maybe pinpointed it well. Let's say the Giants are down, playing a couple of teams down near Telford. I think you said that was in around Manchester, didn't you? In around Sheffield.
Telford's just towards Birmingham, between Manchester and Birmingham, basically on the way down.
Yeah, so if the Giants are maybe short, call them guys up, and then maybe the Giants are short also down in around Cardiff, Guildford. You've got Mack and Carter there, and then obviously the boys playing up in Scotland. So that was a good valid point. Maybe that's why we went with 6. You normally hear of teams doing 2 guys, maybe 3 guys at a push for the two ways, but certainly 6. It must be a record in the league. I haven't heard of any other clubs doing 6 two ways. Well, so far.
Davey, you're on mute just before I ask you the question, but your take on the two-way contracts and the fact that the Giants seem to be leaning heavily into this. We've spoken about the local lads, we've already went through that sort of stuff, but here's 2 more being added in and given those opportunities. You said they didn't really come last season. So what if what are we getting from this as well as what are they getting from this?
I wouldn't necessarily say this is even with an eye on the 2024-25 season, 25-26 season. You've got to develop British talent through a number of years and get these guys early, get them into your organization, try and retain them within your organization for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the line. And you've got a Mark Garside coming in as a young guy. You have a Craig Peacock coming in, all these young British kids. Remember when we took Craig Peacock, was it from Peterborough maybe?
Peterborough.
Yep. And they said, what's Todd Kelman? I think it was Todd Kelman and Steve Thornton went over and watched them and said, what are they doing? Picking these guys up. And what a stalwart he's been right through the league. Came here and had a massive season when we won underdog. You've got a future plan. And this is part of Steve Thornton's future plan. I've no doubt about that. Adam Keefe's future plan. This is to try and keep a revolution of young British guys coming through the ranks that you can call on. Nothing to say that Finley won't be a Belfast Giant full time in 5 years. That's probably what Adam and et al. Are looking at. They're probably not looking for Finley to come in and play 17 minutes this year. It's all about development. It's about getting opportunities for them to see what it's like to be in the professional game. Can you take that step from the NI into the AI? And if you can, here's the opportunities. Here's what you have to do to get that job. Go and make it your own. Look at Sean Norris. Take the opportunity to come on a 2-way contract. Takes the opportunity, has a good certainly end the season's playoffs, gets a full-time contract, gets a year here, goes on another full-time contract to Guildford. So the opportunities are there within this league. If you're willing to take it both hands, there'll be a place in Belfast for you. If you're not, maybe you'll go and take an opportunity elsewhere. But let's give these guys an opportunity and plan for the years ahead.
Right, well, let's speak to somebody about getting one of those opportunities. He's just joined us online. Please welcome back to View from the Bridge, Mack Stewart. How are you doing, Mack?
Right, thanks for having me, guys.
So you're back for obviously we've just been talking through the show about the opportunities you get with these 2-way contracts, and you're back with us on another 2-way. What do you feel you get from these contracts?
You get both experience and then experience with the Giants, and then obviously training with all the older players and more skilled players, and then you get more game time, which helps you improve your game in match situations in the lower leagues.
And do you feel it's beneficial? Because obviously, like, I guess you don't want to be sitting on the bench as much as any player. You know what I mean? You don't want just to be drafted in and just being sitting there because we're playing import after import, and you're down the line. So you're getting that game time, but also being able to make your mark.
Yeah, I think it helped me a lot last season playing quite a few minutes for MK. So I think it helped my game grow a bit more.
Mac, we were talking earlier about how important it is to us as fans to have local guys playing for the Belfast Giants, and how important it is for younger local guys than you to be able to see you in a Giants shirt so they can be you. You know, the young guys, if they can't see a route through to the big club, well, then what's the point for them? You know, they're only just going to end up playing rec or national. You know, how important it is. Like, you're a role model these guys now as well. So you have to take the opportunity to be a professional with the Belfast Giants, but remember that there's guys already looking up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I help out in coaching with all the juniors when I'm back home. So they always talk to me about how it is playing with the Giants, and it's pretty cool to like feel like you're a role model to some of the younger players, and they always ask you stuff and like always ask me on what to do to get better. So I enjoy it.
And hopeful that there'll be maybe more opportunities this season than perhaps there was last season with the Giants.
Yeah, hopefully. Last season was a bit complicated because of all the injuries, and they brought so many guys in. It was hard for me to try and break into the team, but hopefully I can get a couple more games in this year and not have to go to Coventry.
Just before you go there, Marty, is the ultimate ambition still to be Giants, and as a stepping stone, perhaps even further on, but certainly to be a Giant?
Yeah, I would like, because it's been a childhood dream of mine. It's always something that I just want to be like a full-time Giant, even if it's for 1 year. Oh, from Marty or me?
No, from me too. My childhood dream as well. One of us is going to get there. One of us isn't.
Hopefully.
I'm holding out for you, David.
Mac, I obviously see you twice a week. You know, we're being on the ice a couple of times each week, and I definitely noticed last Wednesday you had an extra spring in your step since you got signed. And obviously the boys just saying about the younger kids looking up to you. Well, you lit us all up on Wednesday night there. It was great to see. But no, here I've obviously last summer I skated with you, and you know yourself, Carter, Kell, and Cameron Hamill. You know, you four are just a league above everyone in Northern Ireland, you know, from the local perspective. And but this year I can see the strength and progression already, and week by week over the summer I've seen you get stronger and stronger. What are you doing differently? You're doing a lot more stuff a lot more work in the gym. I know I've seen you've been at Colin Shields as well.
Yeah. Well, last year I kind of worked out a bit, but I kind of changed my workout this year to try and get a bit more spring in my step. So I want to be a bit faster. So I've been doing a lot more leg work and like plyometric stuff. So I think I can feel a difference already, but I want to get a bit more stronger on my legs for this year.
Yeah, well, you can see it, you know, the explosion in your game. It's great, but yeah, as I said there, you know, since we seen you get signed, obviously you've upped your pace in training, and I've had the chance to skate with you a couple of mornings there as well. So you've been working hard, so keep it up. And yeah, I'm so proud to see, you know, yourself, Kell, and Carter, you know, break into the team, and hopefully Cameron can do that soon too.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Nice. Well, listen, Mac, we'll let you get about your day. Thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you through the year.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Good luck, Mac.
All the best, Mac. And we move on. Now we had Mac. Let's be joined by another one. It's Carter Hamill. How you doing, bud?
Hiya, how's it going?
Doing really well, mate. Doing really well. So you're signed on another. You're an MK. You had MK last year. What's this experience like for you?
Moving over to Milton Keynes, you know, it's really, really good. It's good for my development, playing a lot of games, training, you know, 4 times a week, and just the guys there and the coaching too. It's just a really, really good experience all around.
You feel that you're really gaining. We've just been speaking with Mac there, and it's sort of the same sort of question to yourself. You know, what you gain from getting that first team experience at the likes of MK, topped up with training time and maybe the odd time out with the Belfast Giants?
Yeah, just obviously the more and more you're out there, the more you're going to get better. And the training sessions they put on for us at MK, and then obviously the training camp coming up with Belfast, I just feel like this season's going to be the one, hopefully the year for me to break through and, make a good impact.
When you're speaking with the likes of Adam or Steve and these contracts being talked about, what goals, what do they set for you? Do they say to you, listen, we're going to call on you, we're going to need you, and if you do X, Y, and Z, we can really see a future path to a more regular slot with the Belfast Giants?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. They explain what type of player they are after and what they would expect from us, as two-way players and as a professional. So, I mean, just through training and stuff, I'm just gonna continue to work as hard as I can every time I'm out there. It's good fun as well, but it's my job at the end of the day. So I'm gonna give it 100% every time I'm there. Just keep chipping away at the door and hopefully get my opportunity this season.
Carter, we were talking to Mack there just before you came on and asking him. I'm quite interested in your take on it as well. This is kind of your third season now, if you like, and full-time seasons. You'd won the leagues, one with Milton Keynes now, whatever it's going to come this season. But to be a 19-year-old role model, the younger kids already coming through, they look at you to be, I want to be the next Carter Hamill. That comes with a little bit of weight as well.
Yeah, I mean, it does. You have to carry yourself as a professional every day. I remember being, that young one time myself and looking up to the older people that were ahead of me and, following in their footsteps. So I understand what it's like. Yeah. And, I have to live up to that expectation and be the ultimate professional. And
Paddy asked there about, targets that Adam and Steve, etc. set. What about yourself? What's the goal for the incoming sort of 9 months for yourself?
For the next 9 months, I want to, I really want to push on in my career this year. Hopefully get a few more points and gain more game awareness, get more knowledge throughout the game, learning off, obviously all the Giants players now and some of the top boys in MK, and just gain more experience that way, and hopefully elevate my playing style to the next level.
And we were also talking earlier there, Carter, about these two-way deals with the Giants are brilliant because we want local guys representing our club. But it doesn't necessarily have to mean that you have to play 50 games for the Belfast Giants season. This is year 19. This could be the next 15 years, So this is just the first step in a 15-year process, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely. This is just, you have to start somewhere. Start at the bottom and work your way up to the top, as the saying goes. So obviously when I was 17 and I got my first shot there, got a first few games and just got the feel for it and in Belfast, what it was really like playing as a Belfast Giant, and it was just incredible. So I knew there on in that's the route I wanted to go, and now getting the two-way for this year, it's just the start of something, hopefully long term.
Good luck.
Thank you,
Carter. I've known you all your life, obviously camping trips with your kid, and obviously really good buzz for your dad and your family. But I know what you're like. I know you're a great kid. And I've watched you from under 10s right up to under 16s, under 17s. So I know what type of player you are. And then even when you did get them couple of games, 2 seasons, 3 seasons ago with the Giants, I could see that you could adapt, being that kind of defensive, forward. Obviously, I know when you're playing MK, you got a bit of a free role there. You can be a bit of a playmaker, a bit of goal scorer. You got a good few goals there in the park play as well last year. But I think you've toughened up this year, and I think you going out there being a fourth line winger when required. You kind of relish in that opportunity to go out there and just be that solid guy for a couple of years to show them what you're worth.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, playing all throughout the lines last year in MK, got, stints up in the second line and right down through the fourth, so up and down the lineup, kind of just learn along the way the different types of roles. I consider myself, of coming into the Elite League next year, hopefully get a few games I can do a good job on the fourth line, play that chippy, grindy role and, just do what the team needs, really.
Yeah, look, I know you've kind of came back from shoulder injury and stuff like that, and I know you've been working hard in the mornings there. And as I said to Mark, I just see that little element of explosion in your stride and your skate. A couple of strides and boom, you're away. Have you kind of been changing your workouts in the gyms this
Yeah.
summer?
Obviously, as you mentioned there, just a slight upper body injury, so I had to adapt it that way. It was mainly all legs and explosive stuff through the start of pre-season there. Obviously starting to toughen up now and really start increasing the weights to get that burst for the start of the season. But really all around, I just feel really, really good to get going. It's really nice to be back out in the ice again and really, really starting to feel strong and everything's starting to come together again for me.
Last question. So, last question for me before I let you go, mate. The 13th of October, away to Bristol Pitbulls. Are you ready for that?
Always ready. It'll be good. It'll be good to see my brother over there and stuff. Obviously, we'll not get to see each other as much as we did last year, but we'll always battle hard against each other. And what happens in the game, we can always be friends after.
That's it. Cameron Hamill, Carter's twin brother, is playing for Bristol. Davey, you'll have to get down and see him play. Get down to that game, the Battle of the Hamills.
Only 10 minutes from the house. Might have to go down and separate them.
Well, listen, mate, we appreciate you coming on and joining us, and good luck this season in Bristol, and we hope to see you in that Belfast Giants uniform.
Yeah, no problem.
Bristol at MK.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
No worries.
See you later.
Big thanks to Carter. And next up, none other than Kell Beattie. How are you doing, Kell?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Thanks for having me on. I was actually just out at the driving range there, so just hitting a few golf balls with my friends.
How's the form?
I played on Sunday there. It wasn't the greatest of rounds. I lost majority of my balls, but I enjoyed myself, so that's the main thing.
That's that, mate. It's the two shots that are good that keep you coming back. You know what I mean? You talk about that tee shot off the third, you're like, "Well, an absolute belter. I'll be back for another one of those."
Yeah.
Another season in Solway, another two-way contract with the Belfast Giants. You must be buzzing.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, signed in Solway again this year. I actually signed just before Christmas, so it got released. Signed a 2-year deal over there. And then obviously going on a two-way with the Giants again this year. It's great. It's great for my development, and it'll only make me a better player in the longer run. I believe myself. It's a long process for a kid like me coming from Belfast, and the rest of the boys know that as well. It's harder to try and fit your way into a team, but I feel like with the attributes that I have, and as long as I keep working hard, I think I'll just do all right.
You have had that ice time with the Belfast Giants in years gone by. Obviously, not last year, unfortunately. But what do you gain from it? What do you get when you go and you train with these guys? And what do you feel you've gained over the last number of years being on the ice with the various Giants players and Giants teams?
I think it's all down to experience, really. I try and be as much as a sponge as possible, and just feeding off the older guys, the more senior players in the team, and obviously in my first few years it was great. I had the likes of Griffin Reinhardt and stuff there, and I sort of gelled on and off the ice with him, and he was great with me. Obviously an NHLer, it's great to work with him and just ask him the small things like how he does this and how he does that, and I was able just to progress in that way. I just feel like anything that anybody says to me, I just try and take it on board with full hands.
You've said yourself there, Kell, that it's a hard route for a young British lad to come through, in an import-heavy league to, find your way. But hard work is where it's going to come. Julia and Jordy, I have to, reference them. They're not going to let you do anything else but work hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, my mum and dad are a big part to play in the hockey. They've helped me get to this point in my life. If it wasn't for them too, I wouldn't be here right now. And obviously, my dad, came from a sporty background, and my dad's always putting pressure on me just to make sure I work hard no matter what, if I'm battling for injuries or whatever. But they're the rock behind me at the minute, so they are the main people in my life, and I'm thankful for it.
And we've talked to Mack and Carter about the role model, and you've obviously got a younger brother in Jude as well, who's doing really well in hockey, but he obviously looks up to you massively as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, he's doing quite well for himself at the minute. He's still playing junior level with the Giants, so he is, and he's playing up a few age groups as well. So I mean, I'm a huge role model to him. My mum always says to me, obviously it's a bit different now that I'm living away from home and stuff, and he's always asking how I am, and if he needs anything to get better, he's always asking me. So it's a huge part to play for me, and I just have to keep on doing what I'm doing just to show him the route. And there's always a chance for him to make it as much as what I'm doing.
Kel, I've missed you this summer. You haven't been home to skate once. But hey, no, I had 3 seasons in Solway. And we were kind of in the Scottish National League, and then there was the Northern Premier League when I was playing, and it was kind of going semi-pro, and they were just always itching to make that extra leap. Obviously, they've made that leap now, being in the second tier of hockey. How have you found the professionalism with the likes of Martin Grubb and the coaching staff there? And obviously they're not up there with the Giants, but are you impressed with what you've been involved with?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I've been with them in the NHL One North, and then obviously with them moving into the National League as well. And I think just a change in professionalism, and obviously the owners come in as well, and they sort of switch things up, which was great. Obviously, the money side of stuff, that's what you're sort of needing in the second tier and below the elite league. But I mean, the professionalism's hugely changed. Everybody's mindsets have changed, and at the end of the day, people are fighting for their jobs. So we're all getting paid to do it now, and you have to show up every day to training and games to be ready. And then if you're not, well, then you're gonna be on the next flight home, really. So I feel like obviously this year was a big learning curve for me. First year living away from home. I battled through some injuries. I broke my fingers and then took a slap shot to the face as well. I battled through some injuries. It was tough going, but I got through them in the end. And I thought this year was a huge year for me. Obviously going into the World Championships in Dumfries as well. I actually played in the World Championships with 2 broken fingers, and I thought, to be fair, I actually spoke to Jamie Thompson about it, and he says to me, I felt like I went into the World Championships as a boy and I came out as a man. I really changed and developed and matured as a player because I took on that bigger role as an under 20, as a more senior player in the team, and it was huge for me this year, just getting around that World Championships and then getting back into a Solway. And obviously for myself, it was a all-round great year.
Yeah, well, I watched every game. Yeah, so you had a solid tournament. Yeah, you certainly did. Grew up. Well, I see you kind of growing up into a man in that tournament. So that's fair play. One more thing by me. Are you coming home for the 2 week training camp, or are you doing pre-season with the Sharks?
No, I'm coming home. So I'm actually over in Scotland. I've stayed over here the full summer. I've been working. I've actually just got a job doing landscaping and stuff, which is quite good. And I've been training. I have been training still 2 or 3 times a week. So I haven't stopped skating since the end of the season. I was away on holiday and stuff 2 weeks ago, so that was a wee nice break. But I'll be home for the Giants training camp, and then I'll have to come back over for Solway's training camp, as we've got pre-season games coming up as well.
Well, one last question for me, especially the end of the last season. How easy is it now to stop Craig Peacock from scoring when you're in training? Or are you allowed to? You know what I mean?
Obviously, he has that role now where he's the general manager in the team, and he was great this year with me. Obviously, I've known Craig since a young age, and I've always looked up to him when he was playing for the Giants as well. So, in training, I don't think he's changed much. He was obviously one of our standout players this year, and we'll probably hugely miss him next year. But yeah, he scores in training sometimes, but I have to stop him a few times as well. I can't let him get all the joy.
Belter. The one last one is what's the summer going to be for you, Kell, apart from trying to keep the ball out of the rough?
The first part of the summer was I tried to relax a bit. Obviously, it was a busy season for me. Obviously, playing in Solway, and then obviously with the World Championships as well. It didn't really go the way we wanted it to. We didn't make playoffs or anything, which was hugely disappointing, and I was really gutted about it. So I sort of had to adapt to that while all Mack and Carter, they were in playoffs, so it was a bit different for me because I've never felt that way before, and finishing that early as well. So I took a few weeks off just after the season finished, and then I just got back to training. Really, I've been going to the gym about 3 or 4 times a week. I've been going out runs, and I'm actually staying with one of my friends that play for Solway. I'm staying with Lewis Young, so we've been skating 2-3 times a week in North Ayrshire, we have, and we've just been going to the gym really, and then obviously I'm working throughout the day, so just keeping myself busy really, and just I'm looking forward to the season starting.
Fantastic. Well, listen, mate, we really appreciate you coming on and joining us. Good chatting with you. Good catching up with you. Good luck this season with Solway, and hopefully we get to see you a good few times in that Belfast Giants uniform.
Cheers. Thanks very much, guys. I appreciate it.
Big thanks to Kell Beattie for coming back on to A View from the Bridge. I love that. See those 3 interviews. There's 3 lads, 3 solid lads who have put the hours in and put hard work into their game. They're getting an opportunity here away from home. One of the things Kell said there, he's living away from home. They all are living away from home. They're young lads, but they're taking that opportunity, Marty, and and really making something of it.
Yeah, I love it. It was so it's just felt like a real good connection there, didn't it, with the 3 boys tonight? And it's just so good to see. Look what the junior development from Rob Stewart, Stevie Hamill, Mark Morrison, when them boys were all out there, Shane Johnson, look what they're producing through our local talent, and there's still a wave to come through. As you also touched on Kell's younger brother, I know like Shane Johnson's son's playing there, so it's just so nice to see them kind of now make the step up and be recognised. And as Davey touched earlier on, this isn't just about this season or next season. Hopefully when they're 25, 26, they're ripping it up in the league and they're being a regular on the third, second line, maybe for, who knows what they're going to blossom into.
And what you get from him, Davey, as well, 3 lads who aren't shy about talking about their game. They speak very well of their game, speak very well of what their goals are, speak very well of what they're under no illusion of how much work needs to go in to get what they want from the game.
3 guys from 3 really good families. First of all, really well grounded, and their parents have instilled a real, that streak, that hard work pays off, and they understand that to be a young British guy in this league, you have to work harder to get into it because it's an import heavy league. We can get 15 guys from North America. So to get in amongst them, you've got to be very good. And apart from being very good, which they obviously are very talented, you've got to work your socks off. You've got to be the first one at the ring. You've got to be doing all the little jobs that nobody else wants to do, says references all the time. You've got to be the last one on the ice, taking the nets off and lifting the pucks and all. Just all the little jobs, and showing willingness around the rink to do whatever you've got to do to show that you're willing to go that extra mile. I hope it comes across from us to them how much we want this for them as well. Like, I'm so excited for them that, for them to come in and represent our city, being from our city is massive. And, I can only wish them well. And every time we see them, tell them the same stuff, that we're so proud of them. We'll hope it works out for them.
Marty, as somebody who wore that uniform and scored goals for our great club, you know how much work and how much effort needs to go into it. And what potential do you think these lads have? Because it's obvious they want to put the work in.
Well, their skill. So sometimes I'm fortunate enough to still skate with these boys in the summer. Every Wednesday night I skate, and I've been up a few mornings when I've been able to get the chance. And I would sometimes look at them and go, okay, when I was 17, what was I like? And you compare, and I just go, there's no way I was ever as good as them. From their skating ability to their sharpness, even their maturity in the game, and how they read the game, tic-tac-toe. I kind of talked about that quartet of, you've got Kell who was on the D, and then you had Cameron, Carter, and Max. You see them guys playing all together. It's like, whoa, these guys are early 30s, so they just read off each other so well. So they're doing that at a young age. They're obviously going to find they're going to be lined up with different teammates. They've got to then do that in MK. They got to do that in Solway, and then for Cammy in Bristol. But they know what it takes. Off the ice, healthy living, and obviously the gym work is very important. They know the steps and the commitment they need to take. And I think they've all bought into it, and I think this is their goal, this is their priority. They do have other little jobs on the side, but when it comes back into the season, they're fully focused and they're going in there as young professionals to make their dream happen.
One of
I
the
really hope it does.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry, but what I was going to say, and sticking with you, is because obviously an experience that you had is one of the other things that really came across from all three of them is their understanding of the opportunity they have with the players that are going to be around them in training, the standard of the players at the Giants that they will be able to train with. Not just, and this is not me doing down the NIHL, because the guys that they'll be playing with in Solway, in Solway and in MK and are great players, but also when you're playing as well in a import heavy league or training in import heavy league, and the players that you played with at the Giants, the opportunity you had to feed off them and to learn from them, that's a great opportunity itself, and one that's shone through in all three interviews. They were all well aware of what they were able to gain from the training camps, from being part of the Giants setup.
And you'll get a player from the Giants this season, a bit like for me it was Paxton, where I would have went in naive, Mo would have went in naive, and we kind of practice is over and we would have kind of skidded off, and Paxton would have been like, "What are you two doing?" And there's nobody's not coming off in our 30 minutes, and then he would have worked on our shots and rebounds and things like that. So they've obviously had that little bit of experience, so they've obviously tapped into that. But somebody is going to take them under their wing this year when they're skating with the Giants. They're going to have more of a senior player, maybe Mark Cooper, maybe Kieran Long, and they're going to feed off that, and they're just going to take that opportunity, and it's just going to then feed into their game going back to Milton Keynes, and I do hope they're back at Belfast a lot more than what they were in previous seasons, because they'll just make them into better players. Not taken away from MK, not taken away from Solway, but we just know at that high end where teams are training every single day, and you've got them guys who maybe had their foot in the NHL or been playing in Europe. It's just that level above.
It is. Yeah. So no, and best wishes to them, and best of luck to them. And I agree with everything you said. And so you saying, Davey, the desire that we have that these lads go on to that next stage and step up into a more regular role with the Belfast Giants, especially being local lads, is really something that we've all got our eyes on them, and they know themselves that the task that's set in front of them. But they also know, as we heard, the amount of work that needs to go into it, and they're willing to do it. So, which is really, really great to see. Right. A big thanks again to Cameron, to Mack, and to Kell. Also big thanks to Finley Hiles for joining us. Any other business, boys? Silence.
The junior Giants,
yes,
14s won a tournament in Hull.
Yeah, we just had a message from Stephen Brown, said the juniors under 10s won 2 tournaments. The under 12s made the semi-finals of the Cup and took silver in 2 tournaments. And the under 14s came third in the league, second in the Cup, and lifted 3 tournament trophies. That side of it, Marty, and you can maybe speak to that more. It seems to be growing quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when the last time you guys would have been in Donald Ice Bowl at maybe 5, 6 o'clock during the week. I mean, there's just
long time ago, mate.
Yeah, and so many kids training hard, and I already touched on the coaches who give up their time to go up there and develop these kids, and it's paying off. They're back and forth to Scotland most weekends, and they're doing their business. They're holding their own. They're winning tournaments, and just Northern Ireland, we always kind of come up trumps, don't we, in sport, and it's paying off also in the ice hockey.
Davey, it's the sort of thing that we can talk about. The Macks, the Kells, the Carters, and the likes, and what they're doing. Unfortunately, they do have to go to England, to Scotland, to be able to do that, because that's the way the ladder is, and that's the way it is. We don't have that sort of level of setup in Belfast. But to see that the juniors are still pushing those players forward and still winning gives you faith in the future.
Talked about it earlier in the show. It has to be that conveyor belt so Mack and Kell and Carter and Cameron and the guys we had on earlier from Telford are the immediate future 3 to 5 years, 3 to 10 years' time. You need someone to be stepping in 3 and 4 years from now. You need somebody to be stepping in next year, the year after, the year after, the year after, to have that continuity of British talent for the GB team. All these guys are also playing underage, GB internationals as well for the national team. I know you're not all that bothered about it, but the national team going forward need these guys to fill those ranks as well. So you want those guys to go on and be talented GB players and to be playing for our club at the same time. So they're elite level young guys. And who knows, this could be a stepping stone to North America for them. A lot of guys go to North America now to maybe develop, get an opportunity to go to university. Who knows what this friendship for? Can it be reciprocal? Can it be both ways? Where we're getting guys from NCAA colleges. What's wrong with us? Send them one the other way. Give them an opportunity. Robert, if you're listening, I know it'll be on your. It'll be on your. But there's nothing to say that's not something that's not already on someone's page to be doing, pushing young athletes from here across the water as well to help with their development. Ultimately, to come back to us to make us a better club. It's all about us. And I know I want these guys to do really well in their careers, but I want them first and foremost to do well as Belfast Giants.
Yeah.
That might take them somewhere else, but I'm selfish. I want to hang banners.
Yeah.
And I want those guys to do it. I want those young local guys to hang banners in our barn. The pride I couldn't even describe how much was to watch Kell and Mack in those Challenge Cup games, in those league championship games where they were there when we're hanging banners. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And but yeah, and also well done to the juniors for what they've been lifting and the trophies that have been lifted there at the different age brackets, and we'll hopefully get more of that in the coming season. Anything else from yourselves, Davey? Anything more from you, Marty? No? Well, if that's it, then we'll just start to wrap things up. But like I say, big thanks to Kell, to Carter, and of course to Mack. Big thanks to Finley Hiles, and welcome to the Belfast Giants to him and to Rhodes Mitchell-King. Hopefully he's enjoying himself in Croatia, and we'll catch up with him when some point in the future. Big thanks to you boys. Nice to see you in the middle of summer. Nice trip home, Davey.
Loved it. Had a lovely time. As you say, it might be July, but it's all March.
It's always March. And then good to see you, Marty.
Yeah, you too, bud. You too. Yeah, you enjoying your summer so far?
Me? Yeah. I'm actually. It's a week in Port Stewart coming this Friday. Looking forward to it. Getting the kids over. It's a lot of time spent on the beach. A lot of my wife's family. They're all traveling over. There's like 40 of us going to be there and taking over Port Stewart for the week.
So, what date do you leave? Port Stewart.
We're there for a week, so it'll be the 3rd of August. Is that you coming up?
I'm booked in the Carrick campsite the 3rd of August, so I'm going to see you for a day.
I'll give you a shout. But yeah, we're doing that, and then we're going to Donegal for a few days, and then taking the kids to a music festival next in a few weeks. So it's going to be it's all go in this household for a while. Went to a music festival. It'll be side note. Went to a music festival last night in Manchester. We day festival, 90s festival. Some crack. Ooh. It was the headliner, lads, was Ronan Keating. Right, Blue.
If you're going to say nothing at all.
5 A1, mate. It was off the scale.
So it wasn't really a 90s music festival.
No,
he was the only guy there as well.
I thought you were going to say it's like Clint Boone and the Carpets.
No, mate. This was a lot more cheesy than that. It would have been brilliant if it was Clint Boone and all that sort of thing. But no, not. There is a festival like that coming up. Actually, I must send you the details. There's a festival like that coming up in Manchester. It's like basically all Manchester music, and it looks class. But anyway, we took the kids to it last night, and everybody's knackered. So I'm going to wrap things up here, and I'm going to go to bed. Good to see you, boys. You can get us here at AVFTB on Twitter, which I believe tonight we are not broadcasting on, which we would normally do because Elon Musk has changed the terms of service. So we can't broadcast live unless we pay certain things.
I'll give him a ring here.
You give Elon a shout. We're on YouTube, on Facebook, you guys, kingdomofgiants.com, and all the usual podcast providers. Big thanks to everybody for joining us. Big thanks to everybody who's been watching in, sending comments. We'll catch up with you again later. Wherever you are this summer, we hope you're enjoying it. We'll catch you here next time on A View from the Bridge.
Still you rise.